News literacy.
News literacy.
News literacy.
News literacy is really necessary, utterly necessary, absolutely so, for this democracy to function.
The key to be an active citizen.
News literacy is a life skill.
The chance to find the truth.
Empowerment.
News literacy is vital to our generation.
News literacy is freedom.
When we talk about news literacy, how do we teach young people in high school, in college, beyond, where their information should come from?
I think the biggest challenge is that there's so much information out there now with all the social media, like Facebook, Twitter.
For people today trying to seek out clear information, you've got to sift through all the static and all the noise and find that clear signal.
If you're only watching journalists because they sing the same song that you do, then what's the point?
That's the real tragedy of it, that we're in this cycle where the uninformed populace doesn't know they hold the keys to drive the conversation forward.
With what we see on Capitol Hill, we have, I would say, toddlers with Harvard degrees. We have them, fighting over things.
Where we have a problem in this country is there seems to be an inability by the left or the right to agree to certain facts.
As a teenager, I think we're more prone to listen to one another because we think we can trust one another.
When you don't know what to believe, it's hard to believe anything. I mean, I think that a lot of us are naive and tend to trust the first thing we hear.
Actual journalism brings you the world. It doesn't comfort you. It doesn't reinforce your biases. It tells you what's going on in the world.
Daniel Patrick Moynihan said, "Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, but everyone is not entitled to their own facts."
News literacy can improve the public discussion by giving people the tools to understand what are the facts and what are the falsehoods.
Whether you like it or not, you may not like it, there is an obligation to hear the other side.
That's what's beautiful about news literacy, and I mean literacy in general, but news literacy in particular, is that it's not about necessarily the answer, although the answer is important, but how do we arrive at the answer? What is the process?
A news literate individual can, most importantly, digest information.
Is there any information you think is missing from the story that you would like to know about?
And before learning about what news literacy was, I was kind of just like, whatever. I just feel like politics is a big game. And a lot of times it is a game for them, but there's also a lot of truth and a lot of good things that come out of politicians. It's just sometimes covered up by this idea that they have to win and they have to be the one on top.
The key is they've got to be first told that it's important to be engaged in their democracy.
As soon as students understand that, hey, this news story directly applies to me, they become really invested, and then they become very critical.
News literacy is real, and it's current, it's now.
News literacy is essential to society.
News literacy is understanding the world and the way it works.